You can win. You can overcome fear. Many people in the world have to in order to survive. And the courage being required of us is a tiny proportion of what is being required by the people of Gaza just to survive, or many people in the world just to survive. So come on, come on. Is your career really more important than thousands of children being blown up? Is it?
Do you know anyone who kind of has experienced repercussions for speaking out? Is that a genuine fear or an imagined one, do you think?
I think there have been. I think that, we hear in the States that, Susan Sarandon's actress, the actress Susan Sarandon was dropped by her agency or something. But in my view, if enough of us speak up, that can't happen. You may get dropped by an agent, but then another agent may take you up. I think that it's very important to remember that we're speaking to a majority here. In recent polls, many of them, 3/4 of the people in this country want to see an immediate and unconditional end to the bombardment of Gaza. So if you speak to that, if you call for a ceasefire, you're not in a minority. You're not in a corner. You're speaking for the majority of opinion. I think it's important to remember that. And so, if you are frightened of that happening, and I don't know many instances in this country where individuals have been, dropped by agents or stopped from working. There have been situations in which events have. So, theatre runs, film festivals, Palestinian literature festivals. There are loads of examples of those being shut down by lobby groups working, on behalf of Israel's interests. But those have been often challenged, and some of those challenges have been successful. So there's a lot to be said for joining, I think, this protest movement.
How has the right to protest in the UK changed over your lifetime? Have you noticed any differences?
Oh, it's changed massively. Massively. I mean, I have been working for 46 years, since I was 20 and 21, and I've been on many, many protests. I go back to, CND, Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, or when President Reagan bombed Libya. And me and my agent and lots of casting directors, lots of hilariously sort of glamorous people in fur coats and high heels in Whitehall protesting. And the miners' strike in 1984, and the Iraq War, in which, I think millions of people came out into the streets. And it's been a long and very wonderful tradition in British society. It's about, we go out in the streets when we don't feel our government is speaking in the way that we feel they should be. That's what it's there for, and that's what it's, historically always achieved. We wouldn't have the vote, us women, if people hadn't gone into the streets. Gay rights, pride movement, council, the poll tax, civil rights, all sorts of movements have achieved change and progress. Now it is different. I have never known the policing that we experienced on January the 18th at that Gaza rally, which is, as they all are, entirely peaceful. I saw people being thrown into police vans and handcuffed, and the violent arrest of Chris Nynam, very, very gentle individual in his 60s. And I stood there on January the 18th watching this and thought, well, this country has changed in very chilling ways. I saw people being arrested simply for standing in Trafalgar Square. And, I am one of many people now being called to police stations, for interrogation. And I know that we were peaceful. I know that we didn't force our way through police lines, and there's plenty of video evidence of that. So it's a very, very frightening situation, and we all have to be really aware of it, and we have to start standing up and doing something about it.
Do you think actors should be using their platforms more to call for political action?
Yes, I do. I do, given the state of, the world at the moment, and particularly on humanitarian issues, because, I'm sure everybody's got a range of political views, but we have a genocide going on in Gaza. We have a situation in which at least 60,000 civilians have been killed, 20,000 of whom are children. This is also a population who are being starved, whose entire infrastructure has been destroyed, hospitals set fire to and bombed, who are being, famine, aid is not allowed in. The world is engaged in watching this nightmare situation unfold for the people of Gaza. And in situations like that, I think it's very important for people with a platform or a profile to speak out if that work is not being done elsewhere. And we have a government who, by and large, we're still selling arms to Israel. In this country, we're still selling parts for the F-35 jets that are the planes that bomb that civilian population. So I do think that people should be using their profiles and their platforms on this issue and on environmental issues and other things too.